All right, and we are back to discuss some more of the biracial things here again with my co-host Dustin. What are we about to get into again? I'm really excited about this. This last one was great.
I'm excited too because we got some guys in here. I'm not the only guy now, but we have Leslie, Jaimi, Christian, and Grant. I know I never met you guys. I haven't met you guys before. So why don't you tell me and everyone else what season you guys are from and a little bit about your background and being mixed and growing up in the U.S.
Yeah, so wherever we want to start. Yeah, I mean, we've just been going around through the video. Okay. So, like, Leslie, if you want to start, and then we can kind of go left and down.
Okay. I was on season 17, Sean Lowe's season. I am originally from Iowa. My mom is white, blonde, blue eyes, and my dad is black. Grew up in Iowa and Florida, both places, because my parents separated after a few years of being married. So,
yeah. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but you were the first half black, half white contestant on the show?
I think so. Yeah. I think my season was the first season that they finally had a mix of actual people, color.
Yeah.
Because they had the lawsuits prior to that. So, yeah. When I got the call that I was going to be on it, I called my dad because he's black, and he was like, "Oh my God, blah, blah, blah." And then I get there and there's like 7 of us of different races. And so I was like, "Oh, yeah, I see what you did."
Yep. You following up from that lawsuit. Okay. We see you. Yeah. Thank you. And Jaimi, you're on my season.
Yes. So I was on Nick Viall season 21. Mm-hmm. There was a bunch of us mixed chicks and such, so it was really cool. But yeah, my dad's Italian and my mom's black. My dad always would be like, "You cannot call me white. I am Italian. Make sure you say Italian." So yeah, my dad's Italian. My mom's black. She's pretty light skinned. I grew up in California. It's weird because they were together for like 11 years. I remember them splitting when I was like 11, and then. Like, I don't know how many years has been in between, but they recently just got back together. So that's weird. It's kind of tough having to handle both of them coming to me and asking me questions or for advice. And it's a lot. But it's nice to see them back together. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, and especially maybe during a time right now. I don't know how much like race plays a part for that.
Yeah. I can't really go into details with the whole Black Lives Matter things because my mom is she's very opinionated when it comes to politics. So she's like going beyond what I can comprehend and what I can see and support. So it's very confusing for me. That's like a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, maybe we'll have you on in another podcast. We'll go deeper on that. Christian, you actually were the first person that I spoke to in Bachelor, like before our season aired, and you were such a like kind soul. And I also remember being like, and he's biracial. It's like, he gets it.
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure everything out, to be honest with you. I learned that more every day. My mom's black. My dad's German. Spent half my childhood in Florida, but was actually born in LA. Was on the season with Grant, with JoJo. And that was my first, and then ended up doing Paradise. So still working through things. It's been a crazy year, to be honest with you. So really good timing for this podcast.
Yeah. And we'll definitely get into all of that. And quickly here on this too, you invited me into this Facebook group, and we're going to maybe...
Just Colored Enough.
Grant, yeah. There was a Facebook group called Just Colored Enough.
I feel that way. I swear to God, I feel that way.
I know. I want to hear from Grant first. Grant, I want to let you introduce yourself, and then let's start off talking about this Facebook group after that.
All right. I was on JoJo's season, and then I did season 3 of Bachelor in Paradise with Christian also, and then I did Bachelor in Paradise in Australia as well, season 1 over there. It was funny because I put my name in online for the show as a joke, and like I filled out the application like halfway. I did put, all the races that I am. I'm mostly Black, but I'm French, German, Native American too. Both my parents are mixed. Yeah, I feel like with the Bachelor stuff, there's like if you check the box Black, like when you put in an application, there's got to be a separate little inbox that it comes into, because like when I put mine in, I got a call I put my application in at like 9:30 at night, and then I got a call at 12:30 p.m. and a voicemail and an email the next day. And
Similar.
like, I was like, damn, like I wasn't, I guess I'll, talk to him or whatever. And then I ended up on the show. But I think honestly, I think from a casting standpoint, when I put my application in, they're like, damn, he's Black enough. He's a firefighter and he's a model. We're going to use this guy, because it's like they could check the box. It's like, yeah, we have another Black guy on the show. But just because of the way I talk and my previous occupations and stuff, it was a good sell to the Bachelor fan base. You know what I mean? Which is mainly, white girls that are relatively religious, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like the Bachelor fan base is it's very popular in the South and on the East Coast, and they have more conservative values and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I think that's why I got cast for the show.
Yeah. All right, it's time for a short break here. Y'all already know the importance of taking care of your skin and focusing on ingredients. And whether you're worried about like dullness, redness, fine lines, acne, whatever it is, trying to find the right treatment can be really frustrating. And I'm really excited to share with y'all this company called Rory, because there's a simpler, smarter solution to skincare. And Rory is a digital health clinic for women. Rory is the sister brand of Roman. And like Roman, they make it simple to connect with a healthcare professional online and see if personalized prescription skincare treatment is right for you, all from the comfort of your home, which is fantastic these days. So all you have to do is go on your phone or computer and you complete a free online consultation, and you'll hear back from a U.S. licensed healthcare professional within 24 hours. Super freaking quick. And if it's appropriate, they'll prescribe a personalized skincare treatment plan that works just for you and your skin. And with Rory, you don't have to worry about going to the pharmacy, because your custom skincare is delivered right to you with free 2-day shipping. Amazing. You can also follow up with a healthcare professional anytime you need to make changes in your treatment. Or if you have any questions, they're really there with you every step of the way on your skincare journey and are like super supportive. So another bonus here with all of this is that with Rory, there are no commitments. So you can cancel at any time if you find it's not working for you, but I have a feeling you will find that it will. You can go to hellorory.com/talk to try out Nightly Defense for just $5. It's free to chat with the doctor, and your first order is just $5. Just $5. That's amazing. That's hellorory.com/talk. Eligibility requirements and additional terms do apply. With all that said, I hope that y'all check out Rory. I've been loving using them and happy to welcome them to the podcast. So with all of that, now we can get back to the show. So let's talk a little bit about this Facebook group, Just Colored Enough. And Christian, can you talk just maybe like how this started? Did you start this group?
Yeah, I kicked it off. I think like, yeah, I think like a lot of us, I think you try to make sense of everything, your experience, and you deal with a flood of emotions. I think when you get off the show and working through things, and then you kind of ask yourself the tough questions, like why, like how did this work out? I certainly look around the room, right, of everybody else, and it's just super obvious. And I just can't help but understand that this is a thing, right? And I just felt like it was, I was just colored enough for the show, for the program, to have moments on the show. And I look at my fellow contestants, and I feel like it's super relevant for a lot of us.
Yeah, I feel the same. It's funny we talk about the show with my season on Hannah's season. I don't know if I didn't watch your guys' season, but I felt like on my season there was only enough room for one Black person to get the spotlight. I don't know if you guys felt like that in your shows, but in mine it was Mike Johnson, of course. But I didn't know if that's something that you guys went through as well.
Yeah, I definitely can agree, or I feel you on that. I feel like Jasmine was our girl. Oh, no, I mean, Rachel too, because Rachel was like the beyond, but we had at least 2. Jasmine got pretty far, I think. But she was also like the crazy black girl.
See, I would love to hear Grant's opinion on that. Grant, you missed it. We were just talking about that, whether or not there was enough of a spotlight for more than one black person on a show. Obviously, we were on the season together. I remember us having a conversation outside, and we talked about this, and you were like, I think you were like, no, bro, we're not going to discuss this.
Because I didn't want it to get caught on camera. I didn't want it to get fucking, I didn't want to make it a thing. But we did, I remember that. We were outside of the mansion or something. We were like, bro, like, this is a situation. I can't remember exactly what the context was, but like, that's what this shit all goes back to, like marketing and ratings and the fan base of the show, right? When, 90% of the show is white girls, they're not, that's who they're pertaining to, right? And, most girls that are white, their parents are white. You have to think about, like, most of the girls that watch the show, if they were to bring me home, like, it might be a problem because I look like trouble and I'm black enough to, have it be a situation to where, from their parents' perspective, now their daughter's dating a black guy that has a bunch of tattoos, right?
Yeah.
But, so it's like, that's why, from a marketing standpoint and like a rating standpoint, the black guys, especially, they're not going to get as much screen time as the white guys that have been on the show the same amount of time. It just doesn't make sense. It's just ratings. That's what it is. When you have that group of people, that group of executives and editors and stuff like that at the table, they're going to do what is going to make the best ratings and the most money. And that's the fan base of the show. It is what it is.
And that poses kind of an interesting perspective because it's a business, right? This isn't philanthropy. This isn't charity.
Yeah.
This is $100 billion franchise in terms of advertising revenue for ABC.
Yeah.
Do we, we make it very personal when we talk about value, what's right and wrong, but are we right for that as well? Like we all went on the show. It's like,
it's from, yeah, it's a casting thing and it's a ratings thing.
It's typecasting, which happens in Hollywood.
And I think it's also a reflection of our society as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that, what happens on the show often is mirroring what's happening in our society and in our culture and is in alignment with that. And with that, I mean, I'm curious even to maybe kind of start digging a little bit here into like how being mixed caused us to show up in our dating on the show, but also in everyday life. Like how you just said, Grant, like black enough to where it would cause an issue if you went home with a white girl. So like, I'm curious. And I mean, we have both the guys and the girls perspective here too. And Jamie also with being bisexual, want to dig into that too. Cause you're like multiple things here. But like how that impacts dating even.
Well, yeah, I mean, it just depends on, honestly, I think it depends on what part of the country you're in, because where I'm from in California, especially Northern California, being from near San Francisco, it's a very liberal area. Like I've always grown up in like schools where there's hardly any black kids at all. There's always white people, hence the reason I talk the way I talk. Right. But, in other parts of the country, like the shit is a problem. Like if you bring me home, it could be a problem. Right. So that's where we are today. And that's what ABC knows. ABC knows that's, you see commercials today that you always see either 2 black people or 2 white people, or you might see like, an Asian girl with a black guy or like whatever to mix things up because, Folgers Coffee is serving all of America, not just the liberal parts of America that think that a black guy and a white girl or a black guy and an Asian girl is cool. They're when the people change, TV will change. It's just a representation of where we're actually at.
Yeah.
I guess the question is TV behind it? Is ABC behind the times? And I think that like, do we have a responsibility to hold them accountable as a cast, participating, or are we implicit in just accepting it for what it is, and just going with the flow?
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a little bit of both, honestly,
Well, I mean, I'll say on this piece, I think it's hard. I think we get in a position of if we participate, are we reinforcing that all of these things have been okay? Do we take away power by withholding our participation? What impact does that have? I think in my experience, I've tried really hard to make sure that when I do show up, it does have an impact. I mean, I think I'm certainly agreeable, but I also will try to stand my ground and be like, these are the things that I want to see change. These are the things I want to be able to share. I mean, on our season, with me and Jaimi, you know, there were definitely parts of the show moving forward and parts of them very much staying way far back. You know, there were MAGA statements paraphrased against me being a biracial person. Yet then we also had, you know, our first Black Bachelorette come from that. So I think there's like a give and take there. All right, we're going to take a short break right here. I want to share a very lovely, lovely company called Dirty Fun Box. Y'all have probably heard me talk about them on the podcast in the past, and they're like my favorite subscription box. Like there's literally no kind of funner way to get a box. This is literally the best kind of box you could get. These boxes have these specific challenges that they create. So you can kind of specify if you want a standalone challenge or a couple's challenge or even larger groups if you're in a throuple, whatever you're working with. And it helps you to just kind of like explore your sexuality, your desires, your kinks, your fetishes, you name it. They approach it all in a very approachable way through tiered challenges that are in each delivery. And you also get like some goodies in there too. It's a very exciting box and it's just going to encourage you to like explore your sexuality. So if that's something you're interested in, highly recommend checking out Dirty Fun Box. If you head over to dirtyfunbox.com/Taylor Nolan and use the discount code Taylor10, you can get 10% off. So definitely check it out. September is Sexual Health Awareness Month, and that includes pleasure and exploration. So have some fun and check out Dirty Fun Box. Again, that's dirtyfunbox.com/Taylor Nolan, and you can use the discount code Taylor10 for 10% off. Hope y'all enjoy that one. I know I am. And with all of that, we can now get right back to the show. I do really want to make sure that we do also touch a little bit here on just like what y'all's personal experiences have been like as mixed race people within dating and, you know, how that even today, how things happening today has been impacting that.
I feel like when I'm dating someone, I don't know. I guess since I'm not like on the outside looking in, I can only feel how I feel. And I don't feel like I'm like black and I don't feel like I'm white. And when I first meet someone, I feel like maybe I'm putting on like a persona or I'm just like showing my best, you know, my best self. But then once I get comfortable, like even my current situation, the person I'm dating, like he has said to me before, like, oh my God, you're like, in a joking tone, like I don't take offense to a lot of things because maybe it's because I am black and white. I just get it all. And I'm just like, whatever. But he has said to me before, like, oh my God, you're getting like darker because of a phrase that I've said or, you know, and I don't really take offense to it because I don't like to let things really impact me negatively. But yeah, it's just like those little comments that is, you know, it's like, I'm dating you. Like, you shouldn't be saying that.
See, that actually triggers me. And particularly this year, I've had to hold myself more accountable to not tolerate stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I've had to check friends for a long time that have made comments, and like,
because they forget that you're black,
or you know what it is? It's that like I'm their one token black friend, and it's like, yeah, but you're not really black, and then I'm like, oh God,
everyone's heard that one,
right?
Oh man,
it's like, and then I feel implicit now. Like I'm like, yo, I tolerate that shit. Like I had people that would like, you know, make those comments, and inside that whole, it's not okay to not be. You have to be anti-racist now. Like you can't tolerate it, and I'm like, I have to be better. I have to hold people accountable, and educate them, you know. So.
But I think we kind of tolerated that through all these years because we've searched for our own identity for so long. We're just kind of confused growing up. Don't know what am I black? Am I white? And I just want to fit in and feel comfortable with people. So I let both sides, my black friends or my white friends, say little things here and there, and I just tolerate it. But 2020 is no.
Yeah. When I was growing up, I grew up in Florida. Once I moved from Iowa, and in school, there was only me and one other mixed person. So I feel like the whites were all in a group, the blacks were all in a group, the Hispanics were all in a group, and we were just kind of floating because we didn't, like, no one really like gathered us as one, even just being mixed. Yeah. And then now with like the whole Black Lives Matter, like none of my family reached out to me except for my father, who is black, and my brother. So I was having a hard time with that. And a lot of my mixed friends were experiencing the same things. Like the white side didn't reach out, didn't really know what to say. And then the ones that did were actually just the black. So that's been hard.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering what it has been like for all of you to even discuss the things that are happening right now. I know I've received, feedback throughout my whole life of when I do embrace my blackness or, my black side, that people then like to be quick to remind me that I'm white, or that it's like they don't see it as totally valid because I also have whiteness to me. So it has sometimes felt really hard to talk about these things, to advocate for myself or to advocate for other monoracial black people. And I'm curious how that's been like for the rest of you. Leslie, you're saying right now, that's been really hard for you. And I imagine it is for all of us.
Yeah. And like when my parents separated, I grew up mostly with my mom, who's white, and my stepdad, who's white, but older. So everyone always thought that we were adopted. Like, oh, you're adopted. I'm like, no, that's my mom. Like, they couldn't comprehend, like, I have a white mom. So,
I've been there. I've been there. Walk in a restaurant with my white dad and be like, oh, so for one table for one. He's like, no, I'm with my.
Yeah, they're like, oh, are you guys together? Like,
You all.
Because people are asking you like, wait, like, what are you? But it's like, if I steal a car, I'm fucking black. That's what's going over the radio. Like,
I'm black when it's convenient.
When you meet me, so it's like, I totally get that, because you have people. Like I said, I've always been in schools that are like all white, and I've had people say like, oh, like you're fucking whitewashed or like whatever. It's like, I didn't get washed by anything. Like, I'm a product of my environment. I don't know what you want me to say. Like, both my parents talk the way I talk. Like, I've grown up in white neighborhoods. Like, what do you want me to do? It's not like I moved here from somewhere else and started acting different. So that's always been a thing that everybody experiences. Like, they think you're supposed to talk a certain way, or you're supposed to hang out with a certain group of people or whatever. And it's like, not really. Like, it's just, this is how I grew up.
What you're hitting on is interesting. It's like, I always felt like I was forced to like pick a side. And I never wanted to. Yeah. Like, I've always been like, I like bringing people together, and like, but you also know you have to switch gears. Like, you talk differently. You act like there is, and people will call you fake. They'll be like, "Oh, you're fake," And I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm assimilating with the group that I'm hanging out with, right? Like, I'm like, there's different cultures, and it's not being fake. I think it's being a chameleon a bit. But I never wanted to pick a side, because, and then like when I would try to explain that to people, I also felt weird being like, I'm just as black as I am white, and I was like, wait, is that true? Like, I identify as a black man, though. It is, but I'm like, and that one rocks my world right there. I'm like, and I'd love to hear you guys like when you can deal with that,
Yeah, I can definitely agree on the whole chameleon thing. Like, and even at sometimes I feel like I'm being fake, and it's weird. I'm like, am I being fake? Or like, I'm just used to getting down with whoever's around me. Like, I am black, so I might be blacker with my black friends. I'm white also, so I could, get down with my white friends. But yeah, it is weird. Code switching. Yeah.
Code switching. Yeah. And I think that too, I mean, there's like, because I think there's been a lack of, in our culture, in our society, in our research, and our academia, any real sense of community for mixed people, that we grow up questioning those things about ourselves. So then, Christian, how you say right now, even sitting with that of like, I'm just as much black as I am white, and that feeling like really kind of weird sometimes, and being like, is that right of me to sit in that place? Is that is that fake of me? And I think people make sense of us much easier when we're just one or the other. So like you said, like there totally is that pressure of, well, what are you? What side are you? Like, are you white or are you black? Yet then, you know, I remember having the one drop rule used against me. And Dustin, I know you've shared this at the beginning of this series as well, that like, you know, yeah, well, if you're part black, then you're all black. And it is this very like, in our society, it feels like, okay, well, mixed people, biracial people, they're black when it's convenient for them to be black for white people. And otherwise, I don't know. It's this weird, you know, concept of colorism that comes in, right?
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like if you watch, you know, the Spanish channel, right? You will never see a person on the Spanish channel that looks Mexican, that's dark at all. Everyone looks like a Backstreet Boy that's speaking in Spanish. You know what I mean? So it's like that. Every culture has one of those things where it's like the darker you are, the more less people see you as, right? That's around the world. It's not even a thing here. If you look at all cultures, like you see Asian people walking around with Darth Vader masks and fucking umbrellas because they don't want to catch color, you know?
And that's also because white supremacy has literally infiltrated every single culture in our world.
Yeah, there's no doubt like that white is more superior or more appealing, like people using skin tone like lighteners. Sure. I don't know, like if you guys remember, there was like an interesting Muhammad Ali video where he was talking about like,
I've seen that.
You know what was it he was saying? That everything that it was like alluding to like white, what was it, Grant?
Yeah, I don't know. He said some extremely intellectual shit.
I'm going to try to Google it.
I can't remember what it was.
When you find it, send me the link for it and we'll include it in the episode notes. And I'm wondering just on this topic of like, you know, light skin, dark skin, shade, all of this, you know, we can certainly acknowledge having certain privileges as being lighter skinned. But I'm wondering how that experience of like the actual shade of your skin has shown up in your life, whether it's in dating, whether it's in like how much you do spend in the sunshine or how you've felt even in the summer when you're darker or in the winter when you're lighter. If you guys can kind of touch on some of those experiences.
I love my tan. Just recently I got complimented because of my tan, but I should have been like, yeah, I'm half black. That's why I'm this nice ass color. You're welcome.
Yeah, I frequently, but see, even identifying it as like a nice color, right? Then it's like, well,
she's like, oh my God,
also...
you're tan. I've been trying to work on my tan, girl. I'm like,
yeah,
been outside.
Yeah, I mean, that's happened for me where people in wintertime, even like clients that I've had, like in the psychotherapy setting, be like, oh my gosh, like, how do you stay so tan all winter? Like, what tanning bed are you going to? I just love, like, my God, how you keep such a nice tan. And I'm like, that's because I'm black. So I'm like, I'm going to let you sit with that. But yeah, this, I mean, in middle school, I felt so scared to get darker.
Oh, yeah.
I felt like I needed to hide from the sun. I felt like if I got darker, I was going to be uglier. I felt like if I was going to be darker, then I was going to be blacker and I was going to experience more racism and be told even more that, you know, all the racist shit I was already being told. And then there's like that shame that comes in of like, oh shit, like then was I thinking those things that darker was uglier because I didn't want that for myself? It's kind of a mind fuck. I don't know if anyone else can relate.
It is.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was the total opposite though. I wanted to get darker. I wanted to be out there. I wanted to identify more with my black side, you know, growing up.
Yeah.
So I mean I'm a little bit more darker anyways. I don't know what your average mixed person is, but I'm it is. I guess there is no average, but just saying, like, I think I'm darker than most. But yeah, I always push to get darker. I like to be in the sun. I like, yeah.
I guess for me too, I wanted to identify with something because for me, when I was younger, it was weird being mixed. And I remember watching Jawbreaker. I think it was that movie. It's so old and so bad. I rewatched it. It was so bad, but I remember there being a white girl on the movie, and she was so white. And I just remember being in the mirror. I don't even know where I got this concealer and makeup from, but I was like trying to make myself whiter because I was like, I want to be black or white. Why am I both? Like, this is confusing. Like,
Yeah.
And that's so sad to me to think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, well, I love being mixed, or I love my skin tone, my hair, and I'm just like loving it up. I'm happy.
Mine was, oh, go ahead.
No, please.
Oh, I said mine was like Taylor in multiple ways. Like when I was younger, I was on a swim team. And so I was always in the sun, and I would be like paranoid because I was like, I'm getting so much darker and so much darker. And then I always didn't like my lips because my mom's white and I was mostly with her, and my lips were so big for my face. And I was paranoid to put like lipstick on it, anything on it, even makeup, because it just made it so much bigger. But as I've gotten older, obviously, like I love everything because it makes us who we are and like unique. But even my hair, like she chopped my hair off because she didn't know what to do with the curls. Like, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, and in our group previous to this, with Jaimi, Amber, Sydney, I think that was all who's it. Jaimi, Amber, and Sydney. We talked a lot about hair and the impact and the role that's had within our racial identity. But as I love so much that we can be honest about these things and like those areas that maybe sound icky to say. But I think it's also important to note that like us feeling that way and wanting to almost like protect ourselves from those things are a function of trauma, right? And that those are things that that Black people don't have the privilege in some ways to be able to change or shift around with themselves. And that the reason we even feel shame or fear in experiencing those parts of ourselves is because of things like white supremacy and racism that we receive around our Blackness. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like so complex.
It does. Like for me growing up, I wasn't as worried about like getting darker or lighter. That wasn't a thing for me. But like I was in boarding school, so we had 5 guys in a room. Hundreds of us in squadrons, military boarding school in Florida. But what I did notice was that like my Islander friends, like my friends from the Caribbean and whatnot, they were more concerned about getting darker, and it was like almost like a joke amongst us. And I don't know where that stems from. If that kind of had any components of this at all. But I mainly noticed that like my friends are from the Caribbean and like even Africa. It was joked about a lot. Like, damn, you're dark. Like that Akon joke kind of thing.
Yeah.
Grant, what about for you?
For me, I mean, obviously all of the same things pretty much. I mean, like I said, growing up in schools that were like pretty much all white. I mean, people ask you questions like, oh, how come your lips are so big and this and that? And it's like, then when I did go to high school in Michigan for a couple years because I played ice hockey out there. I grew up as like a competitive swimmer. So I've always been like the only Black guy on the whole team. You know what I mean? Because I guess, I don't know. My parents put me in white sports. They didn't know what else to do. Right. So, and I'm fucking horrible at basketball. Like, don't pick me. But anyways, so yeah, I mean, I always, had people asking me like, what are you? Like, how come your lips are so big? Like, what's like, and then when people figured out what Black people were, because, a lot of kids, they don't know what a Black person is. They don't know what a Mexican person is when they're 5 years old, 6 years old. So it's like when you're always the only one that looks the way you do, you're kind of conditioned to react a certain way to people's questions. And, you're conscious about certain things that people will say about you or ask about you because you are different. You don't fit into like the pack of people that are around you,
That stuff's heartbreaking. Did that lead to internal racism for you?
I mean, it was weird because like, I grew up listening to people say bad things about minorities, honestly. I grew up in areas that were all white kids that they would make comments. So it's like, then when I was around people, like bigger groups of people that were like all Black, like I found myself almost looking at them in that same way.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was conditioned to think a certain thing about those types of people, even though that is part of me. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a weird dynamic because all of these like opinions and statements are witnessed and then you're around it, but you're part of what they're talking about, but they don't really think about it because you don't look like the people that they're talking about,
Where I think it becomes more obvious is like, did you date Black girls? like, were you as attracted to black girls? I feel like a lot of us was like,
that's the first question. Everyone asks me like, hey, like, have you ever dated like a black girl? And I'm like, honestly, I've never really had the chance to growing up because I was always around girls that were white. Like there was maybe one black girl in the whole school, you know, it wasn't even about that. Like I just grew up around people that were mostly white, you know? So,
I mean, I'm curious how that like all plays a role for us being on a show that is predominantly white too, of like how our dating preferences or experiences show up on the show even. I don't know if anyone wants to tackle that part.
Yeah, I don't know. I always feel like I'm that black guy that a girl will like date, talk to, hook up with that's like curious about black guys, right? Probably the same for Christian too. Like, oh, like you're the first black guy I've ever talked to, and it's like, but okay, like whatever, you know what I mean? Like I don't really care, but I've heard
icky.
I've heard that so many times. Like, oh my god, I've never like talked to a black guy before.
Tell him I'll change your life.
Like, yeah, exactly. You'll never be the same again. Never be the same again. But that's a different story, you know?
Oh man, Jesus. I almost feel like conditioned to fail, right? Like you think of the shows like flyover state audience, right? And the talent, the cast that is curated to go after the guy that's your, you know, all-American traditional white guy and a person of color that goes on the show. It's like you're almost like, good luck, like you know, and it's like
got no hope.
It's like you weren't really good at, and then it's a cycle, right? Then,
it is. Whatever. Good luck. We put you on there. Everyone, shut up. We got a black guy on the show.
Yeah, we did it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like for Leslie and Jaimi, how that's shown up dating wise, like in real life, not on the show.
Thank God I've never been told, oh, I've never dated a black girl. I've never been told that, but that's crazy.
I've been told that.
Well, I mean, I guess maybe I should ask. I don't know.
Well, I always ask in the beginning. In the beginning, I always ask, like, have you ever dated like a non-white woman? Like, have you ever dated a woman of color? And usually they're like, yeah. And I'm like, no, like not just had sex with, like actually dated. And for most of the white guys I've actually long-term dated, I've been the first non-fully white partner that they've actually committed to. And in a way that's felt like I'm a novelty, like I'm in a way fetishized, that it's like
totally.
I make them more woke somehow now because they get to associate with me, and it's like it's been kind of icky.
Now they can say whatever they want. Like, what? I mean, I used to date a black girl. My ex is black. Like, whatever. Like,
I've definitely gotten that from friends. Yeah. I'm not racist. My best friend's black. Like,
doesn't work like
but
that.
But you are. No, I'm always like, just people don't think I'm black. I'm very passable as like a Latina.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I've definitely had an ex be like speaking Spanish to me. You know, when we first started dating, like through text, I'd be like, this is so weird. Why is this white boy text me Spanish stuff? And I'm like, I know Spanish. I work in kitchens. I've studied it, whatever. So I'll respond. But like, I think it was like a year into it or whatever.
What?
I'm sorry. And then he was just like, I legit thought you were Mexican or Brazilian or whatever. And I'm like, is that why you were texting me all that Spanish stuff?
He was trying to be cool. He was trying to flex.
Yeah, I was like...
See, like, I get that in like, female bathrooms, I get that. Like, women come up and speak Spanish to me, but I've never had a guy do that.
Does everyone...
Serious. Or, like, I've had older Latina ladies, you know, come up to me and speak Spanish, and I'll be like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't really know Spanish like that. And,
then they get
like,
mad.
oh, your mother.
And then they get mad. And then they get
Spanish?
mad.
And I'm like...
Ay, Dios mío. Ay.
See, I just go, no, black. I'm black.
Yeah. Right. Should be happy that I speak as much Spanish as I do. Like, shit.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh, my God.
Gosh.
That's truth right there.
So, yeah. So, I mean, earlier when Dustin and I were talking, he had shared that, you know, that he had a instance with a woman who was white, and she was like, you know, can't date you because you're black, and then dating a black girl after that and feeling very different. And I'm wondering if any of you have had experiences of dating other mixed race people, of dating other people who have been half black, half white, and like how you show up differently in that experience maybe, or like how it feels differently for you.
dated anyone that was mixed race. Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time I
can't
was in
say,
high
I can't,
school.
yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely have. So I think every experience when I date different women is a little different. And that's what I love about like dating in general is like you get different.
It's so fun.
Yeah, it is. You get different experience flavors for, you know, your variety of people. And I date all types of women. So it's like I've had different. I think what was really interesting, I think about your question, Taylor, what you posed was like, how do we show up differently? Right?
Yeah.
Like that is the really deep one. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of reflection on that one. I never really thought about it that way, to be honest.
Yeah. Like I notice when I date white guys, I for sure feel like the more, I mean, I'm already very outspoken, but like the more like the bigness of my personality, I have to like tone down, and that it feels more like, you know, yeah, when I go over to their family's house, like I need to make sure my hair's straightened and I'm wearing something like colorful and like bright. And I've noticed that like I change up in that, and that talking to people and dating people who are also mixed race or, you know, minorities, I feel like there's less of that pressure to like blend in, that I can just be myself and all the large parts of my personality and my curly hair and show up however the fuck I want to show up, because I don't feel as, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
I've definitely had, I've had girls, you know, tell me that are, you know, white girls that I've dated tell me to cover up my tattoos and stuff, to like, you know, wear something a little bit more conservative and stuff like that. And like, you know, that's something that like I understand. I get it. Like I'm not going to show up to a girl's parents' house wearing the outfit I'm wearing right now, no sleeves and stuff and all that kind of stuff. It's like, I get it. It's a respect thing. But like, I feel like if I was going over to like a black girl's house, that my guard would be down a little bit less, right? Like I would probably pull up a little bit less conservative, right? As opposed to like dressing up a little bit more to go to their house. And if it's a first time thing, I'm saying, if, you know, if I know the girl's family, like whatever, you know, I'll probably show up how I want to show up, to be honest. But I think there's definitely that initial, I need to be a little bit more, you know, conservative. That's definitely a thing.
I think what you're hitting on a bit is something that I feel to this day is I feel more welcomed by black people and my black family in Florida.
For sure.
And it's an acceptance thing. I feel less like, we're looking to figure you out. You know, from black people in general. So I naturally find myself spending more time. Like I have a lot of really good friends that are black. Like I feel like my relationships have gotten stronger over the years. That's super interesting. But I know that I've been conditioned as a kid because my dad's side of the family didn't know I existed because my dad's dad was racist. So they never found out until I was like in teens. And then I come over, there's this little black kid. And then
which is crazy. Yeah.
So, but I was conditioned, you know, to be liked, right? So it was like, let me help with the dishes. Let me help out to be well liked, you know, and like, I'm not tatted, right, Grant? Like I tried to be, you know, polished, right? But I've been conditioned.
So talking through all this, what do all of you identify as? Do you identify as white, black, both? Like, what do you identify as?
Other, mixed,
black,
mixed, black.
I just don't even say anything. Like I just, you know, I'll let you think whatever the fuck you want to think. I don't say anything, you know, like people ask me like, what are you? I'm like, I don't know. What do you think I am? Right.
I do that.
I'll leave that up to you. I'll leave it up to you.
I'm mixed, but definitely as a man of color. And I made a point, especially this year, to kind of stand strong with that.
For sure.
I have to be like, it's enough's enough.
Yeah. And I found that like this year with like all the Black Lives Matter and stuff and all the conversations resurfacing, like Christian was saying before, like we all have friends that forget that we're part black and will say shit that they would not say in front of a person they would consider actually black. Right. So it's like, it's a matter of kind of taking those conversations and being like, yo, like, you can't say that shit. Like, that's not like, if you have to start a sentence with like, I'm not racist, but, or like, I'm not homophobic, but, or I'm not this, but you're fucked up. Like in the first place, like you shouldn't say it. You know what I mean? Like,
don't even think it. So let's address why you even think like
Yeah. But the reason they're thinking it is because they've grown up listening to their parents make comments towards news stories on the TV, like, of course he got robbed. It's a black guy, like.
Or our president.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm talking about before that, like, people that are our friends growing up, like, you aren't born racist, right? So you have to learn that shit from your parents. Like, you have to get that. You have to grow up listening to people saying, like, "Oh yeah, all those black guys over there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, honey, lock your door.
Yeah.
Or across
shit,
the sidewalk,
across the street.
Double click your door.
Yeah.
You walk by your car.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, did I lock my car?
Yeah.
That's systematic generational bullshit.
That's why a lot of people
change,
didn't
and that's
get
why we have to be vocal now. We have to break that down.
Black Panther.
for our kids,
Black Panther was such a huge movement. Being black growing up, I didn't have a superhero that I could identify with that was black, So when you see, when you're a kid, you see Black Panther, you see a character that is making the world better in a positive way, besides seeing a black person as a criminal, in jail, a thug, which is all that the media and movies, that's all you see through all that.
Yeah.
Especially like through the all through the like 80s, 90s, all the way probably until just recently. Things have been changing over.
Yeah.
But Barbies,
That's the crazy systematic stuff with young girls too, with like Barbies.
Yeah.
It's like that's what beauty
Band-Aids.
was, right?
Band-Aids.
Like the straight hair.
Yeah.
It's that systematic shit that's so deep and rooted.
Like
that we
Aunt
don't
Jemima.
even know
Like I
that
just
the
realized
layers
when I
are
came
so
up with
deep
Aunt Jemima,
with
I
all
was
the
like,
actions
It's subliminal stuff
Whoa.
that people don't even realize. Yeah. Hey, have you guys seen that meme of Aunt Jemima and the guy from Quaker Oats? And they're like in bed together, and she's it's great. Never mind. It's completely inappropriate. It's fucking great. It's so inappropriate, but
Grant,
it's great. It's like you open your pantry and you see this, and it's like Aunt Jemima, and she's like doming up the Quaker Oats dude. Like it's great. It's so good.
Grant, I haven't seen you in like 2 years, but man, I missed it because this is such a treat.
Sorry, I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to keep it semi okay. I don't know. Whatever.
No, we can go wherever we want to go with this. Podcast is not censored.
I see one meme right now. Is when you mix grits with pancakes and it's them in bed. Is that what you did?
Yeah. Some shit
I'm
like that.
posting it in the chat for you guys right now in the Zoom chat. I see what
Oh my God. That'll be in the episode notes for anyone who wants to look at that.
Where my mind went.
There's so much more to go into on all of this. We've talked about some of the really like difficult parts of this, and clearly how being mixed race is like a very complex experience. I want to hear a little bit from each of you, since we have to kind of wrap up here, of what you love about being mixed race, of what you've grown to enjoy or embrace, or just something that you love about your experience as a mixed person.
I love my hair. I love my skin. I love that I can get along with anyone. Like I never walk into a room and think, who am I going to talk to? I'm like, I can talk to you. I can switch it up. I can do whatever. I just love it.
Yeah. I mean, I would say the same thing. Like I like the fact that like I'm ambiguous enough to where like I can kind of slide into any group of people, and they might not know how to take me at first, but like at the same time, like I can slide in there and I can hang out with, Mexican people, Asian people, white people, black people, Indian people, like whatever. And they're still like, okay, like, he's cool. It's like, I can kind of, that's what I think has been the best about it, because you can't really pin, exactly what I am. So it creates curiosity, So I kind of like that. It gives you an opportunity to like fill people in. Like, I'm this, and this, and this is who I am, whatever.
Yeah. I'll piggyback off of that for sure. Cause I've definitely been able to get along with everybody in that whole thing. And then I also feel like it's helped my family, the white side, because when my mom came home pregnant with me at college, my grandpa and my family disowned her. They're like, I'm a black guy.
Yeah.
And so today they're like, you opened the doors in our eyes. Like you've brought us aware of everything. So to bring my family together for sure, but definitely all the uniqueness, my color, my hair, my freckles, like,
Yeah.
I love your freckles.
That's beautiful though. Bringing family together like that. That's beautiful. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the chameleon factor is obviously powerful. I also think the way we just have, like physically, I think there's a lot of, genetically when you think of how it works out, like the freckles. So I think we have really strong, beautiful features. I'm pretty athletic. Like I don't know. I think there are some real advantages.
I feel like
there's some different privileges.
I feel like we're good at like everything. Too.
Yeah,
like I feel like
there's
not just one thing we're
Obama,
good at.
We got
we're like
Drake,
good
we got,
at almost everything. I feel like
we're just Matt James. I mean, mixed people taking over the world.
Now we have Matt James as Bachelor.
Yeah.
We're all everyone's gonna be just like
see
us,
like
sure.
the world's gonna
it's just
look
the
more
way
like
it's gonna
this,
be,
right? Like as people say.
Oh yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
That also makes me think about something that I don't know if I could ask this on here, but
yeah.
Do you guys ever, I mean, now that we're getting older, think about who you're going to marry and have kids with?
Oh, I see what you...
Yeah.
Like, because I know I've been thinking, damn, I really don't want to lose my black side.
Correct.
I don't want my kids not really identifying, with blackness.
Yeah.
So,
well, even my nephews are a quarter black, a quarter Puerto Rican, half white. And they have our curly hair. They have the freckles, but they are very light. And so, yeah, I definitely think that, especially for them, like I want, but I feel like that's a good thing for them too, because they don't see color because it's all surrounding with them. So hopefully in the generations to come, we're all going to be so mixed and melted together that hopefully racism will eventually go away. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I feel like for me in like wanting kids, it feels like I don't want my kids to experience the shame or the confusion around their race or shame around blackness, period. Because regardless if I have a child with someone who's white or not, they're going to have my blackness in them. And for me, I want them to have a safe space. I want it to feel like our family is a safe community for them. So in that sense, it feels like having a child with someone else who can personally relate to my experience, who carries the same values that I carry, would be really beneficial to my child, that they would have two parents that they can see themselves in, that they can process through any of that racism or shame that they experience, but also knowing that if my kid is lighter skinned than I am or darker skinned than I am, that like either way, they're still going to be beautiful. Like, I think certainly, we can embrace and appreciate and love our features and how, both a darker complexion and a lighter complexion have helped to create us, but that in both of those, there's beauty, right? That like within this shade of colorism, that being lighter skinned isn't necessarily something that I want my child to look at as like the pigment of beauty, right? So like whether they're darker skinned or lighter skinned, like I hope that they can just have a safe community to be able to even process how that impacts how they show up in the world and how the world treats them, and that regardless of what the world says, that they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I think I got something to show you guys in a second. But I think the interesting thing is, when you talk about your partner, is like, I think there's a responsibility to have a partner that is going to be aware that they're going to have a child with you that's a person of color. And that's a tremendous responsibility, that you're raising a person of child, and there are going to be certain challenges that come with that. And you have someone that's responsible enough to appreciate that and be down for that.
Totally.
Don't take that lightly. I'm gonna get my surprise. I'll let you guys talk. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Christian and his like 1,000 screams over here as the gamer that he is.
Don't think I don't hear you. Don't think I don't hear you. Okay.
I was just letting the listeners know, Christian, what's going on. That's all. But no, to his point, I mean, I even had a white guy that I was dating where I had to sit there and explain what privilege was to him. And I literally was like, I can't have babies with you, which means I can't date you when you can't even sit here and take a look at your privilege as a white man. And that to me was like, you're not a safe person for me to have a baby with, period.
Yeah. It's an unsafe situation.
Yes. We have to unfortunately start to wrap up here. Y'all been like a fantastic group.
I love this.
I got it for you.
Awesome.
I got it for you. You guys didn't notice, but right in the back, my son.
I know. I was going to say, whose baby
This is my
that?
son.
What?
Wait, what?
Goodness. I didn't know you had
He's
a
15 months.
baby
He's
either.
15 months old. This is my son.
He's so cute.
Wait.
Christian,
I still think he's messing with me. You're
I
bullshit.
swear to God.
this is
You had
I
a
swear to
baby?
God.
no, this is a prank.
I swear to God, this is my son, and he's half Puerto Rican.
Christian.
I think he's lying.
My
I
social
think
media,
he's lying.
my social media is pretty professional these days. Grant, like,
Are you
literally,
fucking with
I
us?
swear to God, I swear to you. This is my little son.
Bro, you.
This is my little son.
Hey.
Oh my God.
Christian.
I told you.
Congrats.
Where is she? Oh, where's my girl? Where's she at?
What,
Bro, I gotta
what's
get him
his
some
name?
little
Yeah.
Gucci shoes or
Come on,
something,
you
bro.
could probably guess his name. You could probably guess.
I named him Christian.
Grant knows.
Christian?
Where's my son? Hold on.
Oh my God.
awesome.
I'm so.
Where is she?
Is this real?
I feel like
Is
I'm
this
being
real?
pranked.
I still halfway believe it. I think he's pulling some shit, but I'm
Do
starting
you
to
have a
believe
girlfriend?
it.
Like, baby mama is in your apartment with you. I feel like I need to speak to her for proof that this is fucking
I'll
real.
get her on camera. I don't know where the babysitter. They might be gone.
You don't even know where the baby is.
Hold on.
She's like, I don't know. It's somewhere. I'll find it.
Christian. Christian, you have a baby.
Dropping bombs at the end of the podcast.
Oh my God.
I found him. She's in the guest house. Hold on. No, that's my house in Vegas. He's sleeping in his room, so I'm gonna go get him right now. I'm gonna wake him up for you guys.
Wait,
my
wait.
In
God.
the guest
do you even
house.
live?
Okay.
What is that main photo in the very
Right.
background? Is that
Oh
a
my God, my poor little son.
is that a witch in the very
Vegas.
Oh,
back?
Papacito, come here, Papa,
Papacito.
come here. Oh, he's sleeping.
I'm.
Oh,
I,
that's-
Like a demon
I
or
think it's a
something.
gaming
Halloween
thing,
costume.
y'all.
that's-
I'm super shook right now. He's being
yeah.
dead ass serious right now. He had a
He's really about to
baby.
bring a baby into the
Is-
frame right now. He's gonna bring it into the frame.
Oh my word. Oh.
Okay, all right.
Look at this little girl.
So funny.
Stop.
Holy
Oh my goodness.
Goosebumps. He's so
You're gonna make me cry.
Here he is.
Daddy Christian.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh my God. Well, Christian, that's so beautiful. This is a whole nother episode, Christian.
Wow.
Damn, bro.
So interesting question, Jamie in particular.
I know, right?
But
Oh,
no,
he's so
he's 50% Puerto Rican, a quarter black, and a quarter German, white. And I think about it for him, and this responsibility and why it's
all-
super relevant
It
now.
it all makes sense
And it's
now.
interesting.
Yeah.
Little Gerber baby, bro.
Aw.
Gotta
No
get him signed to
tolerance,
an
no more
agency.
with
I gotta
little
make him
jokes. You don't
make him
want
some
to go
college
through
money.
that. I
Oh my
appreciate-
God, Grant.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I ain't playing no more. I ain't playing no more, Dustin.
Aw.
Yeah.
He's like, why you just wake me up? He looked like he was
God.
sleeping or something.
So cute.
Christian, I can't think of words anymore.
He was sleeping. He was sleeping on the bed. That's why I didn't know where he was, because he was laying in his bed. And she's cleaning she's
Aw.
back in the guest house.
Oh, got it.
Oh my
Beautiful.
God.
Nice.
Okay, Christian,
Cute.
we're going to have to do a whole individual episode with you now on this because holy moly.
Yeah,
Well-
we have to. You have to.
Got you.
Oh my
Anytime
God.
you guys come out to Vegas.
That's a good
Like,
secret there. I don't know.
I was just
Yeah,
thinking
before
about
we
staying
end,
out there.
everyone just say
I
one
don't-
part on what
I don't even know how to end this
they would like
episode
the
anymore.
viewers
So,
to understand
Dustin.
about the biracial experience from you. What would you like them to know? I don't know if
Ooh,
or what would you
That's
want
a
them to
good
take
question.
away from all this?
I know.
Mm-hmm.
the hardest question of the day.
I think it's probably.
That's the hardest question.
I think it's important that you just listen and don't try to define us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would probably be
Very
it.
true.
Yeah.
I think it should be a reminder that people need to stop categorizing people. Like even when you start a conversation, like, oh yeah, I met this Asian dude the other day. Like, how about I met this guy the other day? It doesn't matter, right?
Yes.
Like I think that's what they should take from it is that, you know, it's not Christian, the half black guy from the Bachelor, not Grant, the half black guy. It's just Christian or Grant or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I think they should take from it. That everything doesn't have to be categorized into a certain section.
Yeah. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think just because I'm mixed doesn't mean I'm less than any part of me. I'm not less black or less white. I am full, like I have a full ass white dad or Italian and a full ass, you know, black mother. That's, I'm not less than either side of me.
That was also beautiful.
Taylor's been crying all day.
Y'all are great.
She's been crying all day.
I'm so emotional. I was crying in the last episode with Jaimi talking about her hair. I was crying. I'm like, I promise I'm not even on my period. Like, I don't know. This is just emotional. And now Christian's
I'm not going to be
here.
the first one to ask that. I'll get slapped through Zoom. I can't be asking that kind of stuff.
And now
Are you about
Christian,
to get your period?
I'm not. I promise. I'm so good right now. And now Christian's sitting here with his baby falling asleep in his arms, and I like can't even take it. This has been great. Thank you all so much. This has been great. I appreciate all of you.
Yeah. Thanks for doing this. It's nice to like talk to so many people that are mixed, and I feel like we've all experienced the same things, and I feel like I'm not alone anymore, because before it was just me and my brother.
Yeah.
And so it's just nice to like, wow, there's so many of us that
I've never talked to so many mixed people in my life before. It's been so many at one time. It's insane.
Yeah, same. That weren't my sisters.
Yeah, don't hesitate to reach out, guys. If you ever do want to talk.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to whisper.
She's definitely gonna cry. She's gonna lose it on that one.
We can hear you.
All right, guys. I got a meeting. I got to go right now.
This is great.
Thanks for...
Thank you, guys.
All the love. Thank you all so much.
All right, guys.
Yeah, same.
All right, that does it for today's episode. Thank you so much for making it all the way through and keeping your ears, your hearts, and your minds open. It would mean so much to me if you could take a second or two after listening to this episode to leave a review on iTunes and let me know what you're enjoying about the show. I love reading, what your favorite episodes are, where you guys listen, and definitely feel free to share this with a friend. I mean, part of how we break down the stigmas around these topics is by talking about them, right? And sharing them with more people. So definitely share the podcast. And again, really wanting to include all of you in this podcast. So if you have questions or you want to share a thought or an experience, please send in a voice memo to ask.letstalkaboutit@gmail.com. And I'm really excited to keep having these conversations and breaking down these stigmas. So thank you all so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll talk to you next time.